everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Mystic Paranormal. I'm your host, Paul James Caden, and I haven't done a session in a little while. I've been very busy. A lot went on over the last week with work and just catching up with a lot of things, so it was a little difficult to get out there or fire up the spirit boxes and do a session. But it looks like things are slowing down a bit, getting back to normal. So I wanted to do another presentation here of voices in the static. And the last time I did a session with a transistor radio, just keeping the dial tuned into the static in between the stations, there were some interesting voices that came through. One of which said they were suffering when I asked who it was who was asking for help. When you hear these spirit voices calling out saying, help me. And I asked, what do you need help with? And it said, we suffer. So in this session, and I want to take some time to really delve into this experiment, because when it comes to the paranormal, ITC research, paranormal research, we all hear a lot of this help me. But we really don't dig into why they're in this state where they're allegedly suffering. Are they there because of their own actions, like karma? We reap what we sow. Is there a being like God, a divine being, that put them in this position, like a purgatory or a hell or a place of suffering after their earthly life, because maybe they didn't live the best life? Now, opinions vary across the board when it comes to exactly why these spirits are asking for help and why they are allegedly suffering. And it's probably going to be difficult to get a straight answer, but I want to make this a bit of a mission and really delve into this with the spirits and find out why they are suffering. Why are they in this state where they need help? Is it their own doing? Did someone put them there? Are they being held somehow against their will? Are they just trapped in this earthly realm and they don't know that they've passed on? Again, the opinions vary, but the answers are few. And it's difficult when you're engaging with the spirits, because you're always going to get different answers. It's hard to tell exactly who it is you're communicating with, which spirits are telling you the truth. If you ask for an angel, they'll say they're an angel. If you ask if they're a person, they'll say they're a person sometimes. If you ask if there's some other spiritual entities, some will say that they are that entity. Some will say they're in hell. Some will say they're in purgatory. Some will say that they're not made to stay here on the earthen plane and suffer at all. And I've gotten answers like that in the past. So I'm going to try to delve a bit deeper into this and see if we can find out exactly why they're asking for help, why they're allegedly suffering, and why they're in that state. So let's get right into the session, another session with the radio static, and see if we can maybe get some answers and straight answers for this question. So let's get right into the session. Alright, so we're going to get right into this session, Voices in the Static, using the Redicus transistor radio, keeping the dial tuned primarily in between the stations where there's just a lot of static. And we're going to see if we can make contact with Spirit today and find out why they are suffering in the afterlife. Why are they there? Why are they suffering? Who put them there? Are they there because of their own actions, the karma that they're reaping? So let's begin by asking, are there any spirits here with me today who would be willing to communicate with me through the radio static noise. Just adjusting the volume a little. Are there any spirits in this room with me right now? Could you tell me how many of you are present with me right now? Could any of you tell me your names, please? When a lot of us, when a lot of us who do this ITC research communicate with spirit, we often hear a lot of voices calling out for help. In one of my last sessions, there was a voice that said they were suffering, or we suffer. Are there spirits in the spirit world here on this earth that are suffering for some reason right now? Could you tell me if that suffering is mental? Is it somehow physical? Or is it more of a spiritual suffering? For those spirits that are suffering, what is the nature of their suffering? Could you tell me that, please? For the spirits that are suffering, could you please tell me, and I implore you in the name of the divine creator and in the name of love, to please speak truthfully on this matter. For those spirits that are suffering, are you suffering because you are reaping some kind of karma for the life you lived? Has someone put you in this place of suffering, like God or a deity? Or are you being held against your will? Which one is it? Let's start by asking, are you here because you're reaping some kind of karma that you sowed in your lifetime? Then may I ask, are you here because God or some kind of divine being or spiritual entity put you here in a place of suffering? Is this a punishment from God or the divine, as some believe? Or are you here simply because somehow you are being held against your will by someone or something? And is that why you are suffering and asking for help? Well, I thank any and all spirits who may have left a word or a message here today. I hope we got some answers as to why some spirits are suffering in the hereafter, and perhaps give us a better understanding of how we can help you, or if we can help you here in the material realm. So thank you, my spirit friends, for responding today. Thank all of you for listening. And I will be back in the next session, and I will talk to you all then. Until then, stay in love, stay in light, and walk with the angels. Blessings to all.